Hey everyone. 2 months ago, I couldn't speak English without fear. I would freeze in conversations. My mind would go blank. But today I'm making this entire video in English, and I want to share exactly how I did it in just 60 days. If you're watching this, maybe you're like I was. You understand some English, but speaking feels impossible. You know grammar rules, but real conversations terrify you. You've tried apps, courses, textbooks, but nothing clicks. I'm going to share my complete 60-day strategy. Not theory, not what teachers say, but what actually worked for me. Real habits, real practice, real transformation. Before we start, let me ask you something. Have you ever felt embarrassed because you couldn't express yourself in English? Drop a comment and let me know. You're not alone. Let's begin. Let me take you back to where I was. I was 22 years old. I had studied English in school for years. I could read. I could write essays. But when someone spoke to me in English, panic. I remember one day, I was at a coffee shop. A tourist asked me for directions. Simple directions. I knew exactly where the place was. But when I opened my mouth, nothing came out properly. I mixed up words. I stuttered. The person looked confused and walked away. I felt so small, so embarrassed. That night, I made a promise to myself. In 60 days, I would speak English confidently, no matter what it takes. But here's the thing. I had tried before and failed. Many times. I had downloaded apps like Duolingo. I watched English movies with subtitles. I memorized word lists. But nothing changed. Why? Because I was learning English like it was math, rules and formulas. But language isn't math. Language is living. Language is feeling. Language is practice. So I created a different approach. A 60-day strategy that changed everything. Are you ready to learn what I did? Let's break down the strategy day by day. The first 20 days were about building the right foundation. Not grammar books. Not vocabulary lists. But mindset and habits. In the very first week, I made 3 decisions that changed everything. First, I accepted that I would make mistakes. Every single day, and that's okay. Mistakes are not failures. They're feedback. When a baby learns to walk, they fall hundreds of times. Nobody calls them a failure. Language learning is the same. Second, I stopped translating in my head. This was hard. Really hard. But every time I thought in my native language and then tried to convert to English, I lost speed and confidence. I started thinking simple thoughts directly in English. I am hungry. This is nice. I feel happy. Third, I committed to speaking every day, even if nobody was listening, even if I sounded stupid. Speaking to myself became my secret weapon. After the first 5 days of mindset work, I moved to input. I stopped watching movies with subtitles in my language. Instead, I found English content I actually cared about. For me, it was football highlights and motivational videos. Here's the key. I watched the same 5-minute video 10 times. Yes, 10 times. First time, I barely understood 30%. By the 10th time, I understood 90%. I could repeat sentences. I could feel the rhythm of English. This is called comprehensible input. You need to hear English at a level just slightly above where you are now. Not too easy. Not impossible. Just right. Then came the shadowing technique, and this changed everything for me. Shadowing means listening to English and repeating it immediately, like a shadow. I would play a short clip and repeat what they said, copying their tone, their speed, their emotion. I did this for 30 minutes every morning. My mouth started to remember English patterns. My brain stopped translating. I was building muscle memory for speaking. After about 2 weeks, I started talking to myself in English. I know this sounds crazy, but it works. In the shower, while cooking, while walking, I would describe what I was doing. Now I am washing my hands. The water is warm. I need to cook lunch. What should I cook? Maybe rice and chicken. Simple sentences. present tense. Just constant practice. My goal was 1 hour of self-talk every day. Okay, let's practice together right now. I'm going to say 5 sentences slowly. Listen carefully and repeat after me. Ready? I wake up every morning at 7 o'clock. Learning English requires daily practice and patience. I believe I can improve if I don't give up. Mistakes help me learn faster than perfection. Speaking is the most important skill to develop. Great. How did that feel? Remember, your accent doesn't matter. Communication matters. By the third week, something amazing happened. I could think simple thoughts in English naturally. Now it was time to level up with active practice. I started journaling in English. Just 10 minutes before bed. I wrote about my day, my feelings, my dreams. I didn't check grammar. I didn't use a dictionary too much. I just wrote. Writing helped me organize my thoughts. It showed me which words I used too much. It revealed my patterns. And slowly, my sentences became more natural. Then came the scary part. I needed to speak with real people. I found free language exchange apps. I joined online communities. I found people who wanted to practice English. My first conversation was terrible. I was nervous. I made so many mistakes. But you know what? The other person was also learning. They understood. They encouraged me. I made a rule: 3 conversations per week, minimum. Each at least 15 minutes. Some days I didn't want to. Some days I felt tired. But I did it anyway. Consistency beats motivation. Around this time, I also stopped using vocabulary apps. Instead, I created a personal word list. Every time I couldn't express something in a conversation, I wrote it down. Then I learned that exact word or phrase. This is targeted learning. You learn what you actually need, not random words. My list grew to about 10 to 15 new words per week. I would use them in my self-talk and journaling. After about 5 weeks, I did something extreme. For 5 days straight, I created an English environment. I changed my phone language to English. Social media to English. I only watched English content. I only thought in English. This forced my brain to adapt. At first, it was exhausting. By the 3rd day, it felt more natural. By the 5th day, I was dreaming in English. Yes, dreaming. That's when I knew something had shifted. Let me share a breakthrough moment. Around week 6, I was on a video call with a language partner from the USA. We were talking about our hobbies. And suddenly, I told a complete story about my childhood. In English. Without planning. Without translating. I talked for 3 minutes straight. When I finished, she said, "Wow, your English is really good." I almost cried. Not because of the compliment, but because I finally believed in myself. I had done it. I had broken through the fear. Let's practice again. I'll say 5 more sentences. These are a bit longer. Listen and repeat. When I started learning English, I was afraid of making mistakes. The most important thing is to practice speaking every single day. I found that watching videos in English helped me understand naturally. Don't worry about your accent. Focus on being understood. Consistency is more powerful than motivation when learning a language. Excellent work. You're doing great. The last 20 days were about confidence and fluency. I was no longer a beginner. I was becoming a speaker. I challenged myself to discuss deeper topics. Not just what's your name, but what do you think about climate change? Or tell me about a time you failed. These conversations pushed me. I had to express opinions, emotions, and complex thoughts. I made mistakes, but I kept going. I learned that fluency isn't about perfection. It's about continuing even when you don't know the perfect word. Around week 7, I also focused on pronunciation. I picked 5 difficult English sounds that I struggled with. For me, it was TH sounds, V versus W, and R sounds. I found YouTube videos specifically teaching these sounds. I practiced in front of a mirror. I recorded myself. I compared. It felt silly, but it worked. My pronunciation improved noticeably. Then I worked on speed and rhythm. English isn't just about words. It's about rhythm, stress, and intonation. I started paying attention to how native speakers emphasize words, how their voice goes up and down. I practiced saying sentences with different emotions: happy, sad, surprised, angry. This made my English sound more natural and less robotic. The final 5 days, I used English in real situations. I called customer service in English. I ordered food in English. I helped tourists. I made English posts on social media. This was the final test. And you know what? I passed. By day 60, I was having 30-minute conversations without fear. I wasn't perfect, but I was confident. On the last day, I recorded myself speaking for 5 minutes about my journey. Then I compared it to a recording from the first day. The difference was shocking. I couldn't believe the same person spoke both videos. My pronunciation was clearer. My sentences were longer. My confidence was visible. But most importantly, I wasn't afraid anymore. Final practice round. These sentences are more natural and conversational. Listen and repeat. You know, learning English has completely changed my confidence and opened new opportunities. If I can do this in 60 days, I genuinely believe anyone can achieve the same results. The secret isn't talent or expensive courses. It's simply showing up every single day. There will be days when you feel like giving up, but push through those moments. Remember, every fluent English speaker was once exactly where you are right now. Perfect. You're building those speaking muscles. So, let me recap the 60-day strategy for you. In the first 20 days, I built my foundation. I changed my mindset. I used shadowing. I spoke to myself. I accepted mistakes. In the next 20 days, I practiced actively. I wrote daily. I found speaking partners. I learned vocabulary I actually needed. I immersed myself completely. In the final 20 days, I built my confidence. I had complex conversations. I worked on pronunciation. I used English in real-life situations. But here's what I want you to understand. This strategy worked for me, but you need to make it yours. Maybe you love music, so you'll practice with English songs. Maybe you love gaming, so you'll play games in English. The principle is the same: daily practice, active use, and no fear of mistakes. I'm not a genius. I'm not special. I'm just someone who decided to commit for 60 days. And that commitment changed my life. You can do this. You really can. Not in one day, not in 1 week, but in 60 days of consistent effort, you will transform. Start today, not tomorrow. Today. Pick one thing from this video and do it right now. Speak one sentence out loud in English. Watch one English video. Write one English sentence. That's how it begins. If this video helped you, please like and subscribe. Drop a comment telling me where you're from and what your English goal is. I read every comment and I'll support you on your journey. Remember, you don't need permission to speak English. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to start. I believe in you. Now go make it happen. See you in the next video. Keep practicing, keep improving, and never give up on yourself. Thank you for watching. What's your biggest challenge in learning English? Tell me in the comments.